The regular meeting of the Sacramento County Regional Sanitation District for Wednesday, April 12th, 9:35 a.m. Can we have a roll call to establish a quorum, please?
Absolutely. Okay. Members Aquino?
Here.
Karpinski Costa?
Present.
And let the record show that you are also here for the Sacramento Area Sewer District.
Correct.
And then we have Supervisor Frost?
Here.
Hume?
Here?
Kaplan is absent. And Laloe is absent. Maple?
Here.
Orozco? Absent. Robles?
Here.
Okay. Cerna?
Here.
Soon?
Here.
Valenzuela?
Here.
Vang?
I am here.
And you have a quorum. Let the record reflect, I'm going to call those who are absent. Supervisor Desmond, Member Kaplan, Member Kennedy, Member Laloe, Member Orozco, and Member Villegas and Member Sander are not present.
Okay, very good. Since he has most recently done it in the classroom, would you please join Director Robles in the Pledge of Allegiance?
And over heart, pledge allegiance to the
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Vice Chair Hume, I do have a couple of statements that I need to read into the record.
That would be great if you would do so.
Thank you. This meeting of the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and Sacramento Area Sewer District is being broadcast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T UVerse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned in a live stream at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting will replay Sunday, April 16th at 9 p.m. on Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/MetroCable14. In accordance with Government Code 54952.3, compensation for meeting of these legislative bodies is required to be verbally disclosed. The amount of $100 will be paid for each member participating today as a member of the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District, and the amount of $100 will be paid for each board member participating today as a member of the Sacramento Area Sewer District. Compensation for Sacramento County supervisors and City of Sacramento council members is paid to the county and city respectively to partially offset the cost of those governments. Compensation for other board members is delivered to the individuals. And that concludes my notes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Evans. Now, I know that even though we have a quorum, we do not have a 4/5 for item number 3 on consent. Do we need a motion to rearrange the agenda, or can we just take items out of order?
We do not. You could take that order.
Okay, and will any of the members who you listed as being not present, if they show up, would that constitute the 4/5?
Yes, we need one more member for that item.
Very good. In that case, we will move on to item number 4. There's comments from the public for items not on the agenda. Is there anybody in the public wishing to comment on a non-agendized item?
We do not have any speakers at the time.
Okay. In that case, we'll move on to district separate matters. Item number 5, please.
For item number 5, you are acting as the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority, and these are your separate matters. Budget workshop for the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and the Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority for fiscal year 2023-24.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, members, chair of the board. Before we begin, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Great. I'm Becky Schaefer, the Senior Admin Analyst and Budget Analyst for the Sanitation Districts Agency. I will be presenting the fiscal year 23-24 recommended budgets for both of our districts, and we'll begin by presenting our fiscal year 23-24 budget for the Sacramento County Regional Sanitation District. This first graph illustrates a 5-year trend comparison of combined operating and capital budgets. Operating costs have remained fairly constant during the previous 4 years. However, in fiscal year 23-24, the district is facing inflationary pressures, causing an increase in payroll and chemical costs. Capital costs reflect an increase in year 5, primarily due to the Harvest Water Project. The recommended operating budget is approximately $178.5 million and reflects an increase of roughly $21 million, or 13.4% over the current year's budget. The main drivers of the increase consist primarily of a $14.7 million increase in services and supplies. Would you like me to wait for a minute?
I would just continue. I would continue.
Due to the cost escalation of both chemicals and supplies, as well as a $6.7 million increase in salaries and benefits, primarily consisting of the following: a 4% cost of living adjustment, equity adjustments, increases to benefit costs, which include health and retirement and Social Security. Staffing is at 456 positions, 4 of which are new this year for operational needs from the current year's budget. No rate increases are planned to fund the budget at this time. This slide shows a 5-year operating budget trend for Regional San. The average growth over the last 5 years is roughly 4.4% per year. Staff can address any questions you may have regarding this 5-year trend. Okay. Salaries and benefits increased roughly $6.7 million, or 9.5% over the current year's budget. These costs are primarily due to cost of living adjustments of 4% and include some equity increases. The remaining cost increases are reflected in retirement, health insurance, and Social Security. Position counts include 4 new positions for operational needs from the current year's budget. Regional San operating costs. Services and supplies reflect an increase of approximately $14.7 million, an increase of roughly $12 million, which are primarily due to an increased cost of chemicals. Additionally, there is an increase of roughly $1 million in services for interceptor operations and maintenance to address replacement and prevent corrosion of assets. A decrease in electrical costs of approximately $2.5 million, primarily due to the reduction of electrical costs associated with the Echo Water project. Regional San's capital budget is approximately $365.8 million, an increase of roughly $134.6 million from the current year's budget. This increase is largely due to Harvest Water Project of $174 million and includes an anticipated reduction in spending on the Echo Water Project of roughly $34 million over the current year's budget. Debt service for Regional San bonds and SRF loans are budgeted at $134 million, reflecting an increase of $4 million over the current year's budget. Capital projects and related expenditures are budgeted at $231.8 million, an increase of roughly $130.6 million over the current year's budget. A few of the top capital projects for fiscal year 23-24 are as follows. The Harvest Water Project budgeted at roughly $173.7 million. The Echo Water Project budgeted at $17.6 million. The Upper Dry Creek Interceptor Relief Project at roughly $4.6 million, as well as the generation facility project budgeted at $4.1 million, and the Digester 9 rehabilitation project budgeted at approximately $3.7 million. Do you have any questions for us?
I got one.
Go ahead.
If I heard you right, when you were doing the county, you said there was no plan to increase the rate for the regular Sac sewer. Is there one for regional?
There are no rate increases proposed at this time.
For either?
For either.
For either.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to understand that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Any other questions?
No other questions?
Is
Okay.
this a receive and file?
This is a workshop, and we'll be back on May
Okay.
10th for final approval.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. My understanding is we have to go back to item numbers 1 through 3, district consent. And colleagues, I apologize for my tardiness today. It's just one of those days when you have about 3 too many events. And my next one is a track meet with 1,400 kids coming.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, good luck with that. Thank you. All right, so we have district consent items, I think, items 1 through 3.
Move consent.
So for items 1 through 3, I just want to call out that you're acting as the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District.
Move consent. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call.
And I'll take the roll call vote. Member Aquino?
Aye.
Karpinski Costa?
Yes.
Frost? Aye. Hume?
Aye?
Maple?
Aye.
Robles?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Soon?
Aye.
Valenzuela? Bang?
Yes.
And Sander.
Aye.
And that is a unanimous vote with those members present.
All right, and I think that brings us back to item number 6.
For item number 6, you are acting as the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District. This is to introduce the proposed sewer impact fee adjustments and amendments to the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District Consolidated Ordinance. You're waiving full reading of the ordinance and continuing to May 10th for adoption.
And Mike, you are up.
Good morning. Can I pull item 6 presentation? Thank you. So, good morning, Chair and members of the board. Excuse me. Mike Hewitt with the Department of Policy and Planning. I'm here today to introduce the recommended ordinance changes, which includes a 5-year impact fee schedule. So today's discussion looks like a long list here, but I only have 10 slides. So I'm going to briefly talk about the background and drivers for the impact fee adjustments, the basis for the impact fee calculation, also the new and infill fee area. I'm going to describe the setup and how that's arranged and how that progresses forward, and that's important because there's a different fee for the new and infill area. And I'm going to talk about the impact fee recommendations for residential, commercial, and industrial customers, and then the outreach and feedback we got from our stakeholders. And then there's a couple other minor ordinance changes that I'll mention there towards the end, and I'll give you the next steps. So a little bit of background. Why are we doing an impact fee adjustment? The Ecowater project is substantially complete. And, we have expanded some treatment plant and interceptors. And the last time we did an impact fee change was back in 2019. It was actually brought to your board in 2017. It was a 3-year schedule. The last adjustment was in 2019. And then we began, so that was a driver for us to get started with an impact fee study update, which we kicked off in 2022. And we have finalized our recommendations here in 2023 and are substantially complete with the study, just a few editorial things to complete that. So what's the basis for impact fees? Well, there was a methodology that was set forth back in 2012. It was a comprehensive study on our rates and fees just before the Ecowater project got going. And we're using the same methodology with a couple of adjustments. We still abide by the philosophy of growth pays for growth. So new customers, when they come in, pay for their share of capacity in the sewer system. And the impact fees, the major changes with them are incorporating depreciation into the calculations and also updating the asset costs and our cost projections. So as you can see here, apologize, it's a little hard to see our map on a presentation, but all the communities in our service area are shown here. We have two areas that we charge fees that are different. There's a new area fee and there's an infill area fee. So as you can see in the yellow, that's what's considered the infill area fee, and that area is over 70% developed and where our older pipelines typically are. And then in the newer, the outskirt areas where you can see in green is the new area, and that's less than 70% developed and is more of our newer interceptors. So this chart here is the impact fee recommendations for residential and commercial. Lots of numbers here. So let's just focus on the single family and commercial item, and then I'll explain the others in a minute. As I talked about, there's two different fees. We have an infill and new fee. As you can see here, right now, our infill fee is about $3,600 per ESD, and that's essentially, it's an equivalent single-family dwelling unit, so it's the same as a typical house. And then for our new areas, it's about just under $6,500 per ESD, per single-family home. And if you look out for the next 5 years, what we're recommending is a drop in the infill fee area of about 9%. And then in the new area, it is flatlined for the next 3 years and then bumps up just under 4% for the fourth and fifth year. So you might be wondering, well, we've heard about all these rate pressures. You know, how are we able to drop the fee in the infill area and then hold it sort of steady in the new area? There's two reasons for that, two main reasons at least. One is a lot of the financial pressures you're hearing about have a lot to do with what's funded by our rates. And so our impact fees are a little bit shielded from that. The reason that you're seeing for really the drop, especially in the infill area, is us incorporating depreciation into the calculations. And what that does is in the infill area, because the assets are more aged, there's more depreciation in those areas. So that's why you see a drop there, a more significant adjustment in the infill fee area than you do in the new area. And then in the multifamily and age-restricted, it's the same pattern for all three categories. It's just that multifamily is 75% of the single-family and commercial, and the age-restricted is 60% of the single-family and commercial. And just know, age-restricted is the 55-plus communities. So switching gears to the industrial customers and the impact fees for them. And just to note that this has a very little impact to our community as a whole. We've added minimal, maybe 1 or 0 industrial customers over the last, 5 or 6 years, depending on the year. And so some industry corporations sometimes will use more wastewater than they anticipate, and so they'll have to buy maybe a rental charge, which is based on these impact fees, but in general, it's a very little impact. What you can see here is in the flow, and their industrial impact fees are broken down by 5 components. You have flow, BOD, TSS, TK, and pathogens. The flow is very similar to that residential and commercial because there's a heavy connection to our pipelines and the conveyance system to ship it down to the plant. So there's still that nexus, so to speak, between the infill and the new areas. But the remaining, the BOD, TSS, TK, and the pathogens are all strength characteristics in the wastewater that gets treated to the plant, so the costs are spread evenly across a whole service area. So question?
Would you just explain what BOD, TSS, TK, and pathogens are? Thank you.
Okay, let's do this. So biological oxygen demand, suspended solids, nitrogen, and pathogens. And pathogens are primarily human waste, so it's only measured from like domestic wastewater. That's what those categories are. So as you can see, the pattern is about the same. There's a drop in the infill area for the flow, and there's moderate increases in the other wastewater characteristics. We did outreach with the development community. So we met with the North State Building Industry Association, and they had questions. It was an engaged discussion, but they had no concerns about our 5-year impact fee schedule. And then we also sent a letter out to all our industrial, commercial users and groundwater dischargers, and got no response. And we actually even set a meeting to discuss the impact fee changes with them, and no one showed up. So the other couple ordinance amendments that you'll see here is the in the ordinance changes is we replaced SASD with SAC sewer throughout, and then we also updated the cost schedule for sewer construction. And it's also there's a link in there to our website if people want to go to that to find the cost schedule. So next steps. Today we're introducing it. Give time for people to digest and determine if they want to comment, and then we'll open it up May 10th for a public comment, and we'll close it, assuming everything goes as planned. And then if that occurs, then we'll be able to make these changes effective on July 9th, 2023. With that, I'll open it up to any questions.
All right, any questions about impact fees?
Thank you, Chair. Thanks, Mike, for the presentation. I'm just curious, as part of your normal process, how much outreach do you do to stakeholders as you're updating these?
Yeah, so it really depends a little bit on how much we're updating. If we're going to go through and update the whole methodology and all that, we have a little more of a comprehensive outreach to different stakeholders. In this case, we were just updating the numbers based on some new information, and so a little bit of a trimmed down version where we reached out to the building community and also the industrial customers.
Okay, and did they have any response, the stakeholders?
No, there was general support from the BIA, and again, we did not get any feedback from the industrial and the groundwater dischargers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Director Cerna.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks for the brief presentation, Mike. I'm curious to know whether or not staff is beginning to consider post-pandemic what may be on the horizon, short-term even, horizon in terms of repurposing commercial urban uses, in terms of office buildings perhaps being converted to residential, and how that impacts the system, because of course at one point one would expect that they were charged based on the demand based on commercial use, and there are obviously very different impacts to the system. So is that on the radar of staff yet?
I wouldn't say it's on the radar. We could put it on the radar. I think it'd be good to maybe even touch base with the county to see, how that transition is happening. I don't know if we get any notice of that without reaching out to them.
And the city too. Cities.
Yeah, the cities. Yeah. Right. But no, we can follow up with them and talk through that. But we haven't had those discussions internally.
I mean, the complexities of it could be, pretty considerable, given the fact that we have this distinction between infill and new growth areas. So technically, many of the office buildings that may be repurposed for residential use would be considered infill, but you're changing the demand level for service. So I wouldn't wait too long to begin those conversations. There's already been some public discussion about it to some extent, at least in the city of Sacramento. So I think it's something we don't want to be blindsided by.
look into that.
Thank you.
Just as almost a background comment, there was a statewide proposition that limited our ability to shift expenses, right, from one sort of user to another. I assume that applies to impact fees as well. So, for example, the board has discussed an interest in infill, trying to promote infill development, which means trying to keep our fees to a minimum there. But I think our advice was you can't subsidize those with other payers. You have to find an additional source of revenue to come in and offset them if that's what you want to do.
That's right. There's, the government code 66,000, limits, basically you can't exceed a particular charge for customers. So you have to show that you're appropriately charging someone for the fees. So it prevents you from subsidizing others. So that is a dilemma we're dealing with.
So you can't pick that this neighborhood is going to pay more so that neighborhood can pay less, just to make it as simple as possible. Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
And so this becomes like an engineering exercise and like a cost accounting exercise of, well, what is it actually costing us to add service here versus there?
That's right.
And that's the product of which we're looking at.
Yes.
So you said depreciation factored in. Would that be a change in sort of how you do the cost accounting, or?
That is a change on how we incorporating depreciation softens the fees, just because the asset value is part of the equation, and if you have an asset at day one, it's going to be valued more than it is towards the end of its service life.
So we had an example, Phil, to your comment, was we have a hotel that switched to permanent residential use. So they had a certain number of hotel rooms previously approved, paid for, attached to the district. They came back, turned it into apartments, I think reduced the number of units, but now you've got dishwashers and more sink operation and, maybe, I don't know, more use of some kind.
Yeah.
And so I think what the district did was apply a differential between, well, you've already got credit for this much use, now it's going to be this much use, so your impact fee is the difference.
Or not at all, depending on which way it goes. You might owe more, you may not owe anything because you might have credit for it. But yeah, you're right. And I think just kind of in going back to Director Cerna's comment, I don't know how we are made aware of the repurposing, but we have some procedures in house if we are, and how we'd repurpose something like that. Because, for example, our commercial customers will pay more for fees specifically for regional sand than a residential. For example, I know like the restaurants are pretty high equivalent compared to a single family, but it could also go vice versa. There are some industries or organizations, companies that pay less. So that's looked at, and that credit or a little extra surcharge is reviewed. But I just don't know how involved we are with looking at all the repurposing that's happening.
Right. So I think with the board's interest, I think I'll step on a limb, but I think that was more specifically focused on like commercial corridors, or you could say commercial
or
dense
CBDs.
Commercial districts. Yeah. Something like that, trying to encourage reinvestment there. That's a discussion not on this item.
Correct.
But that is, we're emphasizing again, that's important, that particular discussion.
Yeah.
But especially, Chair, if you look at the nature of post-pandemic office vacancies in particular, I mean, that's probably the biggest tell that things are not going to be necessarily the same.
Yeah, right.
All right. Any other discussion on that item, or comments or questions? All right. Let's see, do we have an action here? I think we need to.
We do. The board needs to vote.
We do need to vote. Is there any public
Correct.
comment for this item?
We do not.
Chair, I would move to move the ordinance waive full reading and continue to May 10th for adoption.
Second.
Very good. Vote, please.
Okay, Director Aquino?
Aye.
Karpinski Costa?
Yes.
Frost?
Aye.
Hume?
Aye.
Maple?
Aye.
Robles? Cerna?
Aye.
Soon?
Aye.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Vang?
Yes.
Sander?
Aye.
And that's a unanimous vote with those members present.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to stay up here for
You're going
item
to stay there
7.
because we're moving to item number 7.
For item number 7, you're still acting as the Regional County Sanitation District. This is the resolution for harvest water funding for water storage investment program grant requirements.
All right, well, good morning again. I'm going to cover for Terry Mitchell, who is here, if we have some specific questions on this item. But I want to give you a background, a little bit of status, and what this commitment actually means for you, that's the resolution that's before you today. So back in 2014, Prop 1 was passed. It was like $7.5 billion water bond, and $2.7 billion of that was allocated to the water storage investment projects. And so in 2017, Regional San applied for grant funding for harvest water. And in 2018, we solidified a funding award for that project. And in current day's value, it's $292 million. So staff has been working diligently since then to get the final funding award agreement signed and complete, which we're at the final stage of that, and it should be coming in the next couple months. But there's one condition that needs to be met before we get that funding agreement signed, and that is to get a commitment from the districts that we will cover the portion of the project that's not grant funded. So what we did is we designed the resolution so that some protection to where it only covers the gap in funding that's estimated now. So the Harvest Water Project is estimated to cost about $597 million. And that grant funding that we're very close to getting finalized is $292 million. So the gap right now is $305 million. And so staff is recommending that your board approve this resolution and also authorize the district engineer to enter into that funding agreement. So that's it. Any questions or comments?
Director Sewell.
Thank you, Chair. So Mike, I guess that it's reason to conclude that we weren't successful having further conversations with the state in helping with further funding, or is there still opportunity to continue that conversation?
And I'm gonna look to Terry and I'm gonna say she could step up any time here, but let me hit on something. Maybe she can. We're at the stage now where we're just trying to get this initial $292 million locked in.
Okay.
There will be opportunity down the road for maybe potentially more funding, especially if there's 7 projects right now that are allocated monies for the WSIP, the Water Storage Investment Projects. And for example, if one falls out, which it wouldn't be a surprise if one falls out, they might reallocate that money towards the other projects. So there's more opportunity down the road to get more grant funding. So I'm looking to see is that correct, Harry? Do you want to add some more? Come on up.
Just to add to that question, there isn't additional funding available from other sources. We're just hoping to reprogram existing.
There you go. I'll let Terry expand on this.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, Terry Mitchell with Regional San. So as Mike alluded to, we're receiving the $292 million from the Water Storage Investment Program, and we are seeking additional funding from other sources. There are some opportunities with the Wildlife Conservation Board with some bond measures that were passed, so we're looking at seeing how we may be able to partner with other stakeholders to get additional funding for the habitat restoration efforts. There is also, I submitted an appropriation request we did for $10 million for on-farm site connections, so the connections where we'll be putting the growers into the recycled water main lines. So we submitted appropriation requests through Congresswoman Matsui's office, and so hopefully we'll see where that goes, but there are some other additional opportunities. And as Mike alluded, there may be other opportunities also with the Water Storage Investment Program. The governor did allocate $500 million for the Water Storage Investment Program. However, that money was not to be allocated until 25-26. All of the Water Storage Investment Program projects submitted a letter to the governor, urging them as they're going through the budget to see if they could move that $500 million to this fiscal year. But obviously, there's also budget constraints that are affecting the state, but definitely seeking out additional opportunities.
Yes. Okay. No, thank you, Terry. Appreciate the clarification there. Look, I'm very grateful for the Water Storage Investment Program for the $292 million, and I just really hope that we can get some more funding from the state or other sources. I just think our ratepayers deserve that effort, to bear that full brunt of the 170 plus million on our ratepayers when this is a very, it's a multi-benefit regional project that'll benefit the entire state. I think it's fair to ask others to help us out in that regard. So thank you so much for that.
I should mention also, we did receive a $30 million grant as well from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation.
Yeah.
And there may be some additional funding there as well as the Infrastructure Act gets implemented and additional dollars come out that we'll be looking to see if we can compete for that as well.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, this is I was going to say perfect, but it's a project that federally, state-wise, I mean, the multi-benefits of this project, I think, are very clear, and it's right in line with, the President's administration, the Governor's administration, and so we have a real opportunity here to do some good for the region and the state, and I would hope that everyone at the state and federal level would see that and help us in that. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Director Hume?
Yeah, thank you. Kind of along the lines of my colleague Director Soon's comments, I'm a shout from the rooftops proponent of this project. I think it's one of the smartest things this district has done. I think it's one of the smartest things this region has done. I think it's the tip of the spear as far as resiliency, sustainability, reduce, reuse, recycle. Multi-benefit doesn't even hardly describe how good this project is, in my estimation. But I also agree that it's not necessarily something that should be borne just by this region, because really we're being the pilot program for other people to adopt similar projects. And I think that, when you look at all of the pushes by our state partners, by our federal partners, relative to the groundwater sustainability programs and GSAs that are being stood up. Obviously, the different Delta bodies that I sit on as a county supervisor and the money that they get through federal authorization. I think that there is money potential out there. But I would ask that we try to identify that sooner rather than later, because there's really no good ripcord opportunity once we get into this thing. Like, we can't, the no is not like, we'll just repurpose this into, once we start spending money, we're pretty much all the way pregnant at that point. So, I think the extent we can identify those partners and really champion getting that extra funds in sooner rather than later would be a good thing.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that, and we're treating it definitely as a high priority. And I know that Terry and her crew are always scouring to find additional funding, and we have some in the pipeline, and we'll continue doing so, definitely.
Other comments or questions?
Happy to make the motion to move the item, Chair.
All right. Any public comment?
We do not have any public comments.
Is there a second? Motion made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Okay, so Directors Aquino? Aye. Daniels? Karpinski Costa?
Yes.
Frost?
Aye.
Hume?
Aye.
Maple?
Aye.
Robles?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Soon?
Aye.
Valenzuela?
Yes.
Vang?
Yes.
And Sander?
Aye.
A unanimous vote with those members present.
And we'll move on to item number 8.
For item 8, you're acting as the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and Sacramento Area Sewer District. This is One District Quarterly Report, April 2023.
All right. Good morning again. So, One District Quarterly Report. My colleagues and I are going to update you on the One District project. And, some of you might be asking, what is the One District project? I think a lot of you are, maybe all of you might be well versed in what that is, but I'm going to do a quick summary so you have an idea of what it is. So, One District project is regional sand and sac sewer implementing 3 initiatives to make themselves and ourselves more efficient, more nimble, and emerge as one entity, which will be clearer and more efficient for our customers and also internally. So there's the three initiatives are the legal merger initiative, which is taking regional SAN and SAC sewer, putting them together as one. And then there's the staffing and support services transition initiative that is moving the labor and support services from the county to the districts, and the districts will become an employer. And then the cash reserves investment initiative, which is moving cash reserves and investment management responsibilities along with the treasurer responsibilities to the districts. So I'm the sponsor for the legal merger part of this project, the legal merger initiative. So what has happened since January? Quite a bit. So we have submitted a plan for service and the meets and bounds descriptions to LAFCO, and that's two of the three pieces that needs to be completed before it goes to the LAFCO Commission for review. And the final piece is the municipal services review. That will be this week. It's the administrative draft is supposed to be done and reviewed by LAFCO. And then we also got Central SAN, the Central SAN board approved the proposal to join the Finance Authority, Joint Powers Authority with the districts. So that is the Finance Authority JPA is an agreement in place to allow us to bond and to keep our bonds intact. It's important that we get that done before the merger occurs, and we're just so happy that Central SAN is going to be a partner going forward, because currently the agreement is between Regional SAN and SAC Sewer, and it may be pretty obvious. It's tough to have an agreement with just one entity, so we needed to get another partner in that. And then legislation language has been prepared and reviewed and is ready to go. And that legislation language is going to allow us to make the name change when we become one district. And also, it'll dissolve in statute the district that is going to get dissolved. So we've also internally developed a list of items to be merged and determine the timing to implement the consolidation. So, whether it be strategic plan, master plan, ordinances, and a long list of things that we're going to have to bring together and combine as one has been done. But that's a live document that will be ongoing probably until we merge and probably even sometime until after we merge. And then we continue communicating with our staff. Looking forward, so as I mentioned, there's those three pieces, the plan for service, meets and bounds descriptions, and the municipal services review that go together as a package to LAFCO Commission for approval. And we're tentatively expecting to be on the agenda for August for the LAFCO Commission. And what that do is it's kind of like our ordinance process. It's going to go for review and approval, and then it'll have a time for a public review period, and then it'll go back for a final review, and then there'll be what's called a conditions of approval. I'm not sure what those will be yet. And then when those get resolved, we'll have a certificate of completion that will get filed with the clerk recorder's office, and at that point, we will be one entity. So like I mentioned, the new Finance Authority JPA with Central SAN will need to be complete before the merger is finalized. So we are expecting to bring that to your board sometime in late summer, early fall. The legislation is, we expect that language to get on omnibus bill, which is a bill that has a lot of different bills combined as one that are non-controversial, that'll go through the legislation process, hopefully get signed, in October, and then be effective in January. And that's that's making the name Sacramento Area Sewer District the name for the districts combined. And then we're also informing our stakeholders and garnering support, and that's ongoing. Our next communication out to the city and county leads, and then the regional Water Quality Control Board and State Water Board and Air Board, and so be it, is going to go out once we get confirmation that the LAFCO, or that we're on the agenda for LAFCO in August, and then we'll send a follow-up notice to all after the certificate of completion is done, so after the merger is actually complete. And then we, like I mentioned earlier, the policies and procedures are going to continue getting consolidated over time, and your board will see any board policies that we're going to recommend putting together when that occurs. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Matt to talk about the staff services transition, unless there's any other questions or any questions about the merger initiative.
I just have a quick one, if that's okay, Chair. So I'm brand new here, so I'm just hoping if you could provide just a really quick background on why the merger is occurring. It seems like a good idea on its face. Just want to have a quick background. Thanks.
Yeah, and it really, kind of was alluding to earlier, is it's going to be more efficient. Right now, we have duplicative things that happen between both districts, and quite a bit of it. So combining it together, being one agency, will make it more efficient internally. And then also for our customers, it is going to be clear for them to understand. We talk about our sewer agency, it'll be named Sac Sewer will be our name. And, we provide treatment and collections. So we believe that from a customer perspective, it'll be easy to understand and more efficient internally. Yeah. Any other questions? Merger? There'll be opportunity at the end to ask questions on the whole thing, too.
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you. And forgive me if you mentioned this before, Mike, but does the consolidation constitute a secret review, or is it exempt? Maybe it's a question for council. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be a question for council. I'm trying to think back. I know we broached that. It's a non-issue. I believe it's being handled. I'd have to get back to you on that. I'm not sure.
That's
but
kind
it
of
is being
an important
addressed.
question.
It is important. It is being addressed, and I can't remember if it's been neg-decked or just not needed.
Okay.
I'm not positive on that.
And get back to us on that.
I will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Director Hume?
Thank you. Just touching on the duplication, there's a burning question when the districts merge. Which wins out, staple or spiral?
The same thing.
Questions?
I guess you'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly.
Schedule that for a future board discussion.
Exactly.
That'll
Three-ring binder.
clear a meeting for that topic. Yeah.
Will do.
Any other
All right.
comments or questions?
All right.
Matt?
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. My name is Matt Doyle. I am the Director of Internal Services Department. I am in charge of the Staffing Services Initiative. And since our last update in January of 2023, numerous things have occurred. 2022 is kind of the year of collecting the data and meetings with the county to figure out what they do and get an understanding and kind of matching what our thoughts are, what that service entails versus what they think. And 2023 is kind of a transition to where now we're actually starting to implement some of those things, identifying, taking the data, collecting it, and seeing what makes sense from either we're taking it on in-house, are we going to continue those services through the county, or are we going to use an additional third party for those services? So as you can imagine, it's extremely busy. I say 10 areas of the services out of 14 are being worked on, but that can be kind of deceiving because we have 14 major buckets, but each one of those buckets have an itemized list of services that are included in that major. So it's been extremely busy, but we're getting a lot done, which is absolutely wonderful. We also, I'm very excited about this. We have an additional HR position in-house, which is starting tomorrow. That is going to be the senior personnel analyst, and that individual will be joining our HR manager that has been on board since December. And then we also have some more technical services that we're leveraging for specialized consultants. LCW, which is really going to be focusing on the labor relations, and then RGS, which is kind of for our general HR transition plan. We just had our kickoff meeting with RGS on Monday, so that's exciting. That was slightly delayed because when we initially went out for an RFP, we didn't get as many responses as we had hoped. So we reissued, we went out again, and then we got a substantial amount, and we were able to select RGS and get them on board. So currently scheduled, we have fleet services. We're on track to have that fully transitioned July 1st of 2023. That was our goal from the original transition plan. And mind you, that's more of the MOU portion where fleet and the districts were in agreement that they were going to continue the services for the fueling stations. We have a fueling station at our treatment plant, and we have a fueling station at our North Area Corp Yard. And it just makes sense for them to continue that service. We're creating and finalizing that MOU currently. The vehicle maintenance and the vehicle procurement and those kind of activities will be transitioning in-house. So for our original HR plan for employee relations and recruitment and medical leaves and balances, we were anticipating some kind of transition period and having that hopefully completed by this year of September. We kind of look at that as, not to demean it, but it's the low-hanging fruit. It's some of the less complex disciplines of HR. So we thought that would be a good starting point to transition some of those services. That has been slightly delayed. We're not sure how much of a delay, and I'll go into a little more detail on the next slide so you can anticipate. And then the benefits transition. As you can imagine, the benefits, including health, deferred compensation, and retirement, is extremely important to our staff. So we want to make sure that we do our due diligence and really take the responsibility of ensuring that we have good benefits, as good or better as we transition. We did get some good news. We had conversations and meetings with the county, and they have let us know that they can continue benefits as is even after we separate, minus the deferred compensation. So currently as county employees, we use Fidelity. And so we met recently a few times with Fidelity to see if we can get some more information and quotes, because we can imagine that going from 14,000 organization to around 800, that might or most likely will affect the cost and maybe some of the services. So we're identifying that now. And the deferred comp really is basically the 457B and the 401A plans. All right. So HR positions, they have been delayed. Unfortunately, our 3 HR positions that we were anticipating in March, they did not occur. We're working with the county to identify what that new staffing schedule may look like. And once we get that, then we'll have a better understanding of what delays we're going to see as far as transitioning specifically to the HR services. And MOUs, there are a lot of services that we're going to continue with at least some capacity with the county. It just makes sense for us. It made sense, and the county agreed. And so we're working on those MOUs. And right now, The primary ones are CMID, or construction management inspection, and fleet management, which I kind of discussed earlier. The CMID services were just recently approved, and we finalized the last meeting with CMID, and we're just now kind of going through and reviewing the MOU and finalizing that. We have an additional 4 services that are scheduled to be completed in 2023, and those include the billing through Cubs, IT via DTech, and then real estate and legal. Real estate, we were able to get a district real estate officer position at the March board meeting, and we are going to transition, well, we have a contract position we've been using for the last 3 years as our real estate officer, and we're gonna do hirings once a list is created, approximately in July. And then finally, we have the finance treasury services. TEPA is going to go into more detail. It kind of covers, and they're going to close out the reserves and the investments portion, but there are other services that are in that county finance treasury bucket, and those are going to be added to the staffing services transition. Excuse me. And that includes banking and payment services, accounts payable, bond, fiscal agent, and revenues cashiering, including wires. So I'm going to pass it on to TEPA, but does anybody have any questions for me before I pass it over to TEPA? I'm almost done now. My throat's pretty dry because of the allergies now with the weather going up and down here. I have a radio voice now, though. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
TEPA, welcome.
Good morning, Chair and members of the board. So part of the staffing services separation from the county includes the finance and treasury services. So these are essentially the services that the Department of Finance here at the county provides for us. So they still do our banking, so all our bank accounts for operations are still under the county. Our accounting software, the ERP, they call it Campus, is still done here. They process all our payments, our accounts payable. They issue out the checks to show how our payroll is still done here. They do our cash management for our daily business. They are our fiscal agents, so they make payments on our bond interest payments and things like that. And they collect our revenues for us, or the billing that we do. So those are the services that we'll be looking into. So moving these to the district might involve some restructuring on our end. We might need to get some software. I think the ERP process is already in place, but so that would have to be in place before we can take on that part. And so to really figure out what kind of staffing we might need at the district to take on some of these services, albeit on a slightly reduced scale, we're thinking, we might need some consultant support to understand what, if it's positions or any processes that we need to establish. And for some of them, do we want to bring them in-house, or do we want maybe to stay with the county and just enter into an agreement on some of these? So the rest of this year, we will be going into that. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have developed a plan on what we're going to do with each one of these services. So that's that bit. And going into the last initiative that was identified at the beginning, the cash reserves investment, this is one where I think we are pretty much done at this point. It started much earlier than the other two initiatives. I think the first key steps happened in 2021 when this board authorized to make this position a treasurer. That way we can have some oversight of our own funds. So that was done, and then an investment advisory committee was created, which is a subcommittee of this board. And with that, we went ahead and we have a custodian, so we have our own investment accounts under the district's name this time, and we were able to transfer through the first and second quarters. We moved all our reserves to these custodial accounts that we have. The bank is U.S. Bank. and we have an investment advisor as our consultant, so to speak, to help us invest. And at this point, all the funds that we transferred are fully invested. And for those who maybe need some little background, the reason why we moved these the investment of the cash reserves is because our objectives for investing these funds don't particularly align with the county. The county essentially invests in up to 1 year fixed income assets. But we don't need our reserves that quickly, so we are able to invest them in the longer term assets up to about 5 years. We're averaging around 2.5 years. So because we have a longer term, we're able to earn a little bit more. And in February, we presented our first quarter results. Or it was the first quarter, but it was essentially the second quarter of this year. But that's when we had most of the money is invested. And we could see from there that we did actually earn a little bit more than the county. So it's bearing out that, that maybe that was a good move. We are able to do that. I think the county did fare much better than expected because, short-term rates are much higher now. So although they are investing in only up to 1 year duration assets, they still did much better, but we did much better. And I think going forward, as the curve normalizes, we should keep, I think, that delta that we earn over what we could have earned if we kept them in the county. And so quarterly, we will be reporting on the performance of our investment portfolio. And next month in May, we'll be presenting the third quarter results, covering January to March of this year. And from preliminary a review of that, it looks like we're still doing well. We are being helped by the fact that interest rates are high, so so the timing wouldn't have been any better. And so just to touch on where we are with this, I think we're done. All these processes are now ongoing, so it's no longer an initiative per se at this point. As I mentioned, the advisory committee is established, and we've been meeting with them quarterly. When we present the investment report to the investment advisory committee, we do file it with the board, and I think on the March 8 meeting that was filed for review and for the information of the board. For the designated reserves, I did say we finished everything, but we still kept the general reserves in-house because of the financial pressures that I think Christoph did mention. We wanted to hold off on that before we moved money, because part of our agreement with the county is that we don't move money in and out because we didn't know what we were doing. So we kept the general reserves with the county, and after we finish now that the budget is almost done, we're going to finalize our long-term financial plan, and then we'll have a better view of how much of that general reserve we can move away without the risk of having to move it back. So that's the last piece of the reserves that we might be transferring this year. And I think that's all I had. Any questions?
Any questions, comments? Tepa, I heard you say there were two options in some cases, stay with the county or hire internal. And I think there's actually a third option, maybe you just neglected to mention, but that's, hire the expertise outside.
Right.
Because we've already done that with regard to, financial advising. And I think one of the benefits of this transition is that we might be able to find niche things like that, which we could actually benefit from greater flexibility and perhaps greater expertise on the outside for some function, as opposed to trying to hire it in.
That is an option. So apart from bringing services in-house, we might, if there's a better option, a more efficient option with a service provider, we would also be looking at that. Yeah.
Any comments? All right.
So we're going to have Mike come back up. Thank you, Tepa.
Thank you.
And Matt, to answer the CEQA question.
Thank you, Rosemary. So yeah, I did check in real quick with Jose, the executive officer, and he reminded me that this project is category exempt. And one other note too is we're talking that it's a legal merger. From LAFCO's terminology, it's considered a reorganization. But yeah, that's covered on a category exemption.
Thank you. Welcome. All right, great. Anything else on this item? Okay, let's receive and file. I think we move on to item number 9.
For item number 9, you're acting as the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and the Sacramento Area Sewer District. This is the miscellaneous director and district engineer matters update. And there are 3 topics: director's discussion of issues for future consideration, district engineer administrative updates, and then points of note on communications received and filed.
Rosemary, what do you have for us?
Just a few things, and it's some fun stuff. On April 26th, our next meeting is officially canceled, and our next meeting will be May 10th, and we'll bring back those final budgets for your approval. And a really fun thing, we are having an Echo Water project completion on May 19th, Friday, and that leads the way to have the Harvest Water groundbreaking. So we're so excited to be at that point, and you'll be getting digital invitations by the end of the week.
Great.
Wow.
Yes.
That is
so
cool.
exciting.
Very cool.
Thank you.
And that's it for me. Thanks.
All right, I think that's item 9. We have item 10.
For item 10, now you're acting as the Sacramento Area Sewer District, and these are your consent matters, items 10 through 11.
Items 10 and 11 on consent. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'm assuming we have no public comment.
We do not, and we did not.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call, please.
And just to be sure, that was Karpinski Costa who made the motion?
Yes, second, Becky Hume.
Thank you. And I'll take the roll call vote. Members Aquino?
Aye.
Karpinski Costa?
Yes.
Frost?
Aye.
Hume? Cerna?
Aye.
Soon?
Aye.
Fang? Sander?
Aye.
Unanimous vote with those members present. For item number 12, you are now acting as the Sacramento Area Sewer District and the Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority. These are your district separate matters. This is the budget workshop for Sacramento Area Sewer District and Sacramento County Sanitation District's Financing Authority for fiscal year 2023-24.
So Becky's coming back up, but I want to acknowledge Becky and the finance, but all the staff that takes such time and care with our budgets. There's so much work that goes on behind this. So I just want to acknowledge them too. And with that, Becky.
Thank you, Rosemary. It's nice to be recognized for all the hard work we do in a very short amount of time.
Yes, we do. It's go time.
And
Yeah.
lots of changes. Good morning again, Chair and members of the board. I will now be presenting the fiscal year 23-24 budget for the Sacramento Area Sewer District, for which I will be referring to as SAC Sewer for the rest of this presentation. This first graph illustrates a 5-year trend comparison of the combined operating and capital budgets. Operating costs have remained fairly constant for the previous 4 years. However, in year 5, there are increases in payroll as well as other operating expenditures due to inflationary pressures. Capital reflects a slight increase in expenditures over this 5-year period, with a peak in fiscal year of 2021, primarily due to the Mission Trunk project of $23 million. The recommended operating budget is approximately $102.6 million and reflects an increase of roughly $9 million, or 9.6% over the current year's budget. The main drivers of the increase consist primarily of a $4.9 million increase in services and supplies due to the cost escalation of goods and services, and a $3.9 million increase in salaries and benefits, which are primarily due to 4% COLA in salaries, as well as increases in benefits and Social Security costs. The total staffing is at 327 positions, 3 of which are new this year and are for operational needs from the current year's budget. No rate increases are planned for fiscal year 23-24. This next slide illustrates a 5-year operating budget trend for SAC Sewer, with the average growth at roughly 3.8% per year. The main drivers of the increases are in services and supplies due to the cost escalation for goods and services, as well as salaries and benefits. Any questions you may have regarding this, staff can address. Any questions?
Yes, you stated that there's no rate increases scheduled, and based on the graph in the coming year or so, it looks like there's going to be increased costs. Do you anticipate moving forward that there may be, that conversation may have to happen?
We will have that conversation, but we're still a couple years out from that at this point.
But it won't end up being like a great big rate increase after we haven't raised it for decades, hopefully.
I don't know if you want to address that.
Our initial indications at this point, suggest it won't be a big jump. We anticipate it will be a moderate increases but we don't expect that we need to make that this year. We have enough cash reserves to, not cash reserves, but unreserved cash, sort of to cushion some of this increase that you're seeing. But going forward, we will need some minor rate increases to make sure we don't, get into concerning territory, so to speak.
I think I just ask because on other boards, it seems like we've been through some painful discussions around rate increases, and small incremental is much more palatable to the public, it seems. So
we appreciate that our customers pay an entire utility bill, and we're just a piece of that. So we are very mindful of that going forward. Yeah.
Director Hume?
Yeah, thank you. Becky, a quick question.
Yes.
Looking backwards, that 3.8% increase seems to be the historical trend, but now looking forward, it's closer to a 10% increase. Why so much of a difference? From 93 million to 102 million.
I'm going to defer this here to.
We could help.
Tepa.
I think part of it is we had 8% inflation over the last 2 years. It's still high. I think it's still around 6%. Over the last 20 years, we've never had any kind of inflation close to that. So really, that's what's driving this big jump over this calendar year. We don't think it will be sustained that way. I think it will taper off, but that's the jump this year. It's just the last really high inflation over the last 2 years.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, salaries and benefits increased $3.9 million, or 7.9%, over the current year's budget. These costs are primarily due to cost of living adjustments of 4% and include some equity increases. The remaining costs are reflected in retirement, health insurance, and Social Security. I think, did I already go over this slide? One? Okay, I got myself confused because I'm so used to saying the same thing. Position counts include 3 new positions for operational needs from the current year's budget. Services and supplies reflect an overall increase of roughly $4.9 million and consists of the primary drivers. Construction services and supplies reflect an increase of approximately $1.8 million, primarily due to escalating costs in maintenance and repair of the lower lateral program work. An increase in professional services of $417,000 are due to IT application and services. Sac Sewer's capital budget is approximately $36.5 million, a decrease of roughly $4.2 million from the current year budget. Debt service for outstanding bonds remains unchanged at $10.6 million from the current year's budget. Impact fee revenue is budgeted at $5 million and reflects a decrease of $1 million from the current year's budget. A few of the top capital projects for fiscal year 23-24 are the Rio Cosumnes Correctional Center Pump Station Rehabilitation Project at roughly $4 million, the Lower Lateral Replacement Project at $3.3 million, the Creek Crossings Mainline Rehabilitation Project at $2.6 million, the Mainline Cured in Place Pipe Project at $2.4 million. This last project consists of lining to renew lower laterals in various areas throughout the districts. Do you have any further questions for us?
Any comments or questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
If there is nothing further, we are on to communications received and filed.
Yes, and you have your beautiful State of the District reports. We put them out for you.
Yes.
That is worth celebrating. They represent so much great work. So please enjoy.
Consider these carefully. We'll vote on the future style in the coming meeting. All right.
I just wanted to say, just, as a new member, that I really appreciate this. This is really helpful for me to be able to review the work that's being done, and it's clearly a lot of effort went into it. So appreciate the work.
Thank you so much. Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right. With that, we are adjourned.